Hi guys, Coach Ed Haynes here, talking about the competitor's next training block, the CrossFit classes. Firstly, let's talk about some priorities. A lot of these priorities have formed from our last testing week, but also the testing weeks before that. Firstly, some really good stuff. A lot of our retests, both from past opens as well as Coastal Fitness retests. Huge improvement across the board. So where we're going to go with that now is our main priority is really still got to work on bringing up that snatch and clean and jerk. When we talk about bringing that up, we're talking about improvement in technique, but primarily bringing up your 1 rep max numbers. And with that, we'll come into barbell cycling under fatigue, which basically means being comfortable and able to handle moderately heavy loads for multiple repetitions. You're going to see a lot of that coming in kind of like an EMOM format, and then as we get closer towards the open, you'll start to see that mixed in to a mixed modal aerobic piece or even anaerobic piece. Next one, exposure to typical open loads and workouts. You'll be seeing drip throughout your week 2 to 3 times, a lot more competitive style workouts. They're going to shape or mirror past open workouts. So you'll see a lot more RXing of loads or prescribed loads based on what we think is going to potentially come up this year, as well as RX and prescribed loads based on what's come up in the past, so we have some data to compare against. Now with your squat, deadlift, upper body push and pulling, kind of your typical weightlifting movements, we're now going to go into somewhat of a maintenance phase. We've worked really hard over the last 6 to 7 months at bringing up our 1 rep max numbers. So we want to hold those where they are now and really basically work on improving the technical component of Olympic lifting. Gymnastics efficiency and capacity. Getting some really good scores on our high rep testers for things like chest to bars, muscle ups, handstand push-ups, both kipping and strict. But we still need to work on just fine-tuning those movements. So a lot of us can do the basic movement, but if we're going to get really good at it, we just need a bit more exposure to it. And with that comes practice. We only work with you guys 6 days a week. A lot of you are doing one-on-ones with us, which is great. But for those who aren't, or those who have a bit more time in their week, it's really important that you're just getting into the gym yourself before, after class, or on your rest day potentially, and just going through the movements to ensure that you're getting those extra touches on to ensure success with them. And that doesn't mean loading heavy barbells and doing it. It means keeping maybe potentially an empty barbell or up to 50% of your 1 rep max load, and just going through the movements, filming the movements, and then talking about it with your coach to ensure we progress. Really important that we have this quick conversation on expectations. The first, of course, we have the Open coming up. You've heard me mention that a couple of times already. We're looking to push for competitive scores in the Open this year. A lot of you might be on that borderline of potentially pushing for a place in the team, or those who qualify could potentially qualify for a master's spot. You might be in a contention this year. So we would obviously like everyone to take part in that, but I want you guys really pushing for a good score there. Another thing to talk about, the Asia Championships. In its 2nd year this year, there's a slightly new format whereby the qualifying workouts are going to take place after the Open's finished. So you'll have your 5 weeks of the Open, then in the 6th week, there's going to be a 1-week qualifying process. I believe it's 3 workouts. I would love to see as many people taking part and trying to get qualification for the Asia Champs this year. So lastly, where we finish this up is don't be afraid to seek one-on-one advice from our coaches. If there is a particular movement or a skill or an exercise that you're not quite comfortable with, we're always willing to help you guys. And we can set up private clinics one-on-one or even in small groups if there's more than one of you who need special help with a certain area. Other than that, guys,